What if I told you this one machine could replace your coffee runs entirely? Even if you don't know the difference between a ristretto, an espresso, a latte, a cappuccino. Today I'm testing a machine that claims to make coffee, espresso, cold brew, and froth milk, all without being a barista. But is it actually easy and worth it? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Tyler with T-Huff Tries, where I try things so you don't have to. Today we'll be reviewing the Ninja Luxe Café Pro 4-in-1 espresso machine. I want to start off by saying they did not send me this device. We bought this with our own money. This is not a sponsored review. I just love this product and I wanted to review it so folks could see the quality and what it was actually like. But I do have an affiliate link in the description if you want to help the channel out and you do want to buy one. There's an affiliate link down below with a few accessories that I think would be great with this thing. So stick around. I'm going to brew a real espresso drink live right in front of you from beans to cup and show you just how easy this is to do from someone that is by no means an espresso connoisseur whatsoever. So what is the Ninja Luxe Café Pro? It comes with a bean grinder, a milk frother, a tamper, makes coffee, espresso, hot water, ristretto, it goes on and on. This thing can do anything, especially for a beginner like myself that's never really made an espresso drink from home before, other than just taking coffee and heating up milk and frothing it and trying to kind of make a latte. This thing makes the real deal, especially for someone like me. So the big thing for us was we don't have a lot of countertop space. So we didn't want a coffee machine and an espresso machine. So we really needed something that kind of did everything for us in one unit. And this does just that. So another element that we needed is we are not espresso experts. We are beginners, so we need a little help. We don't really know how to do it, what settings to use. Luckily, this does all of that. It has some awesome Barista Assist technology that can tear out and weigh your espresso as you make it. It knows how much water's flowing through it, and it'll give you the suggested grind level to really help you right along. And if you are an advanced espresso connoisseur, you can just set the grind level yourself if you know exactly what you want to make. And with the integrated tamper and scale, this just makes a much more predictable shot of espresso to make your espresso drinks or just take regular. It also automatically froths your milk for you, and it has a frother at the bottom that actually spins inside the jug, so you don't have to manually spin the milk as it's frothing. There's frother settings anywhere from steamed milk all the way up to extra thick and even a cold brew froth. And when you're done, it cleans itself. It automatically purges the wand, just like you see them doing in a Starbucks or any coffee shop. It'll purge the wand and everything's ready to go for your next cup. And with all that, it still does make drip coffee. So you still can have your regular cup of joe. If you don't feel like having espresso or some sort of latte in the morning, you can have your normal cup of coffee, easy peasy, just like you always have. So let's just jump right into it. I don't want to go on and on about this thing. Let me just show you it in action. I'll go ahead and make a latte live right in front of you, and then we'll dive right into the features. Okay, so let's just make a latte, and you can see this thing in action. Then we'll jump in and we'll talk about some of the features and some of the things you can do with it. So granted, keep in mind, I've never made an espresso drink in my life until this machine. What we used to do in the past was we would take our coffee maker, which had a specialty setting, which would make a little bit higher concentrated coffee. We would then pour milk into a pint glass, put it into our microwave, warm it up, take it out, froth it, pour it into the coffee, and kind of make a latte. But let me show you how this is to make just a normal latte, super easy. You don't have to make yours like mine. I'm just gonna make a vanilla latte. First, coffee mug, of course. Vanilla flavoring, and I'm gonna use oat milk. I like oat milk. Watch how easy this is. First, I'm just gonna take a tablespoon of vanilla, dump it into my cup, easy peasy. Now, to make the espresso, I put the Portafilter into the grinder, which, mind you, I had no idea what this was called. I always just called it the little espresso thingy that you'd see people at coffee shops using. Now I know it's called a Portafilter. So, put this in here. It automatically detects the size of basket. So I have a double shot in here so it knows that's what I wanna make. Also, the Barista Assist will tell me based on how much water flowed through the last one that we made using these beans, what to set the grinder to. So right now it is set to 18, it's recommending 19. So on the side, I just simply change it to 19. There we go, so it's ready to go. I make sure that espresso is selected and I just very simply click start grind. It's going to take a second to start the grind. You'll see how quick this is. One thing to note, this machine does not have a separate funnel that you have to put into your portafilter. A lot of them do have a separate filter that, or sorry, a separate funnel that you have to use. This does not. They cut down on some of the parts you need. It also doesn't have an external tamper. They built the tamper right into this thing, and it knows if you've tamped or not. So now that it's done, I just use this lever. It's super strong, you're not gonna break this thing. Tamp once, little green light goes, shows me I've tamped once, and now I've tamped twice. So this thing knows if you've tamped or not, and it'll warn you. Now I have this nice, clean, tamped coffee. Now I put it into my little brewing thing here. I actually don't even know what it's called. Lock it in, and now very simply, it makes sure, again, espresso's created. Put my cup in there, very important. And go ahead and start brew. So it does come with a little shelf if you have taller or shorter coffee mugs. So I have this set to this size coffee mug. It's gonna go ahead and brew 2 shots of espresso. One thing this doesn't do, which doesn't pertain to us, doesn't really affect us, some people might, it can't do 2 at a time. So I know a lot of them, it does come out in 2 little nozzles, but you can't fit 2 cups into this at the same time. A lot of them you can do that. Again, that just wasn't important to us. So while this thing brews, I'll actually get my milk ready. So this is the cool part. This comes with a nice, huge milk jug to froth your milk. Another thing that most don't have, so you see in the bottom, it has a little frother in the bottom that when you go to froth this, you'll see in a second, it spins, so you don't have to manually hold this and spin it while it's frothing. A lot of them you have to do this. This one, they make it so easy. It's a one-touch, froth it and let it roll. I'm gonna put my milk in here. And on the inside of this jug, it's really cool. It has the different ounces, so you can just look right in here and see how many ounces you need to pour. And now I just put it into the frother. And now there's a bunch of different froth settings as well. So you can turn this dial. So I'm actually using oat milk, so I need non-dairy. You can select dairy or non-dairy. I'm gonna do non-dairy. Then you pick your froth level. So you can do steamed milk, thin froth, thick froth. This one has an extra thick froth and then a cold brew froth as well. So this, let me double check. I'm doing a thick froth. If you're wondering what I was just looking at, it's really cool. On the side, they have a little sticker. I'll do a close-up of this that just shows some of the basic things that you can make, so you don't have to keep going into a recipe book. It just shows you what type of setting to set it on, how much milk to use, what type of froth to use, and makes it really easy. So now I just click Start Froth. Oh, it doesn't like something. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't have the jug in there. I'm doing this backwards, by the way. So if I can do this backwards, someone that's never made an espresso drink, you can definitely do this the normal way. So now the jug's in there correctly. Smart feature, it told me the milk jug's not in there correctly. And now here we go. Another thing that's cool is on top of this, it has a cup warmer. I didn't know that was a thing, but you can set your cups on here upside down and it'll warm them for you, so you have a warm cup when you're making your drinks. So it's beeping, letting me know that it's finished. Now I very simply take my milk out of here, pour it into my drink. I just pour it all in fast. Some people do say this new jug is awesome for doing latte art. There's a 0% chance I'm able to do any latte art. So there you go. And dude, it's delicious. Now that the frother's done, I don't know why this is like my favorite aspect of the whole machine. The reason is because when we used to go to coffee shops and we were looking into like, I'd love to be able to do that at home. I never knew the little frother nozzle when you go to a coffee shop, why it's always like, psst, like spraying stuff out. The reason for that is it just wants to clear all the milk out so it doesn't like get sticky inside of there and like get moldy. So this thing is not hot. That's another new feature with this one, is the wand is warm, but you can touch it. So I cleaned it off. Now here, I don't know why this is my favorite part. You just put this wand back down and it's going to clean itself. There's a little drain at the bottom that it purges all of this right into. I didn't touch anything. So now it'll do the little thing that I'm talking about that I never knew what this meant. So there you go, now it's done purging, and in under 5 minutes, I have a very, very good latte from someone that's never made one before in their life. This will save you a lot of coffee runs. Now let's jump in and talk about the actual features, get into the nitty gritty about this thing. Okay, so now let's get into the nitty gritty. You see how easy it is to make a latte from someone that's never made one before in their life. Makes really good lattes. Now remember, I am not an espresso connoisseur. It is a very cool hobby. A lot of people get really deep into this. This is from the perspective of someone that just wants to make lattes at home, save on a few coffee runs, save some time, save some money. So let's jump into it. First thing is the bean hopper. Okay, so this thing takes whole beans. It's very easy to fill. You take the cap off, put the beans in, and that's a wrap. We'll talk about how this thing knows what type of beans you have in there in a second. The next thing is the water jug. If you've ever had a Ninja device of any sort, you know how intuitive these things are. They make things so they can only fit one way. They're very easy. Little handles here, the way they've designed it. This water jug is just like that. Has an easy handle that you can slip your hand into, pull it out, holds a ton of water. Of course, this thing will tell you when the water's out. So it's very easy to fill, put right back in. Okay, so now let's talk about the Barista Assist, which in my opinion, for a non-espresso connoisseur, is one of the best features of this thing, because a lot of it is trial and error to know how fine or not fine to grind your espresso beans to get the perfect espresso. I don't know any of that. So this thing helps me with that. So what it does is when you first put new beans in there, you make a shot of espresso, and this thing can monitor the flow of water based on your grind as well, and compare the two and say, hey, you need to grind this more or less. So there's a recommended setting and there's what it's set to. So very easily, once you run your first shot of espresso, it'll tell you, hey, I think you need to change your grind setting to this. On the side, there's a grind setting, unbelievably easy. You just turn it, and it's gonna help you make good espresso at home. Okay, in terms of the tamper, so a lot of espresso machines, you have to get a separate tamper. When you pull this out, put the tamper into it, you tamp it yourself. This thing's built in, so it's less parts. This thing also knows if you've tamped it. So very easily, you saw me do this when I was making the espresso. Tamp it once, tamp it twice. This thing's very strong. You can really get some good leverage on this and tamp it down so that it makes a nice compact puck to make your espresso. The Portafilter, which I just learned what this was called, is actually very intuitive. It's very heavy duty, first of all. It's got a nice handle. It is a plastic handle, but everything else is brass, I think chrome plated brass. And it comes with 3 baskets. It comes with a single shot, double shot, and then they call the Luxe basket, which is a quad shot. And these just simply pop out. Again, Ninja products, there's only one way to put this in here. You cannot put it in incorrectly. And this machine is smart enough, when you put this in here, it knows which basket you have. So it'll automatically select single, double, or quad shot, depending on the basket you have. Again, kind of dummy proofing this for folks like me that are not espresso connoisseurs. Another thing that Ninja does, which is really cool, on the side, it has storage for all of your baskets, which is very nice to have. So these things aren't just laying around your house, and it's, again, very intuitive. It stores these things perfectly. They're not just thrown in a little drawer. It also has a spot to keep the brush. The brush doesn't fall out of this, so it's really nice to store any baskets that you're not using. So again, you pop this in here. There's only one way to do it. Put it in. This knows what shot espresso that you're trying to make. And then in terms of putting the portafilter into the brew mechanism, again, I don't know what it's actually called. It's very simple. There's an orange dot on the brew element and an orange dot on the handle of this itself. So you just line those up, put it in, and twist over to, there's another line that lets you know how far to turn this thing. So the seal is very tight. I don't know what normal espresso machines are like. It's actually one con of this machine. It's not really a con. The seal is so tight that you can't just turn this thing one-handed. You almost have to brace the side of the machine to be able to close it or open it to take it out. But that's a good thing. That means it's a nice strong seal. It's in there nice and tight when it goes to brew your espresso. And then the milk jug, like I talked about, it's a nice big milk jug. It holds 12 ounces, and there's lines on the inside of this that are really nice to have. It shows 2, 5, 8, and 12 ounces, which aligns with basically any drink that you're gonna make. Again, on the side of this, it has like the basic drinks, so it's very easy to just fill your milk up to the line that you need. It has this little magnetic frother that goes in the bottom. As you saw when I made the latte, this thing will spin. You don't have to manually kind of swish the milk around while it's steaming or frothing your milk. And then the steam wand itself, very easy to use. It's attached to the machine, obviously. You just lift it up, put the milk jug in, slides right in. It knows if the milk jug is offline or not. It sits in there very easily. The only time I've ever had it not online is when I was doing this review and I'm doing it from behind. It sits in there. With one press of a button, you can froth your milk. And like I showed you, when you're done, you simply pull it out, clean it off. It's cool, it's warm to the touch, so you can just easily clean off the wand, put it back down, and it's gonna purge automatically for you right into the drain. Super cool. So let's talk settings on this thing. So there's very simply a start grind button that you can only press when the portafilter is in the grinder. Another thing this can do is if you have, drastic change in your grind, you can hold that button in and it'll purge any like remaining grinds that are in there, so you're starting fresh. But as you change the grind settings, it kind of does that for you. You'll hear like a little noise that it'll make, and it'll kind of purge all the old grinds so that all your grinds are to the new setting that you want. It also has a strength function. So you can set how strong you want your shot to be, 1, 2, or 3. So it defaults at 2. That's really all we've used so far, but if you want a stronger brew or a lighter brew, you can change that strength button. Again, just a click of a button, very easy, very intuitive. And then in terms of the espresso or coffee settings themselves, for espresso, you can make ristretto, which is new on this machine. That's for things like cortados. Again, I just know those from Starbucks. I love their cortados. And from the research we've done, because we're trying to make, basically Starbucks drinks at home, a lot of the shots they use are ristretto, not just straight espresso. It basically uses less water. It also has less caffeine, but it just brews it a little differently. Then you can make standard espresso, lungo, which I don't know what that is. And then it also has Americano, and then a cold brew setting if you want to brew like a cold espresso drink. Now, it doesn't actually come out cold, it just doesn't come out warm. Another smart feature this has is when you go to do a cold brew, it'll make you basically run a plain water shot to get the warm water that's already ready in the tank out. So when you brew the cold brew, it just uses room temperature water from the tank. So one reason we loved this machine is because we do still love coffee. So a lot of espresso machines are only espresso machines. We don't have a ton of countertop space. We didn't want 2 machines. This thing can do coffee and espresso, which is huge. The only drawback is when you select coffee, you can select the ounces you want. It only goes up to 18. Now, that's a big cup of coffee, but we sometimes like to have like a full pot of coffee if we have friends over or something. So it does only go up to 18, but Ninja does sell basically a coffee jug that'll hold 28 ounces. So you can kind of get that same coffee, pot of coffee vibe. You'd have to brew an 18 and then a 10. But for us, daily use, we're just brewing a cup of coffee. So this thing's totally fine for what we need it for. So for the coffee settings, you put the Luxe basket in, which is the 4-shot basket. And then you simply turn the dial over to coffee, which has classic, rich, over ice, or cold brew coffee. And then you simply do the same. It's gonna change your recommended settings. It's not gonna grind it quite as fine, or maybe it's gonna grind it finer, I'm not sure, but it changes the grind. So switch that, grind it, and then you don't have to tamp it. You simply take the portafilter out, put it in, start brew, and then it's gonna brew you anywhere from a 6 to an 18 ounce cup of coffee. And then the last setting that you have is your froth setting, of course. So there's 2 options, plant-based if you're using like an oat milk or almond milk, something along those lines, and then a milk-based if you're using milk. So you switch that setting and then turn the dial to either steamed milk, thin froth, thick froth, extra thick froth, and then it also has a cold brew setting as well for cold froth. The 4th setting that this machine has, which makes this the 4-in-1 versus the 3-in-1, is now you can actually just make hot water if you're making a tea or a hot chocolate or something along those lines, which we do from time to time. So that was a big feature. You don't have to microwave that stuff anymore or boil it. This thing can spit out some hot water for you, very easily make a tea. So there are a few mode settings to this as well. It comes with a clean mode if you need to clean this. So it comes with a little basically basket cover and some tablets that the basket has a little spot to put the tablet. So if you want to clean your coffee machine or espresso machine, you can. It also has a descaler mode, and it comes with some powder and tablets to do that as well. And then if you want to manually purge the wand, there's a manual purge setting as well. So I also want to talk about something Ninja gives you when you buy this, which is their inspiration guide. So like I talked about, any Ninja product you get is just highly intuitive, and they make things so easy. This inspiration guide has all sorts of different recipes in here. Not only that, before each section, for instance, the espresso section, before it gets into the recipe, it very easily shows you the steps to make an espresso. Like put the portafilter in, start grind, tamp, put it in the thing, yada, yada, yada. It just walks you through that. We use that a lot the first few days. This isn't some big hefty instruction manual. They make this very easy to read. It's very simple with pictures, and makes it really easy for you. And then the recipes in here are very good too. One of our favorites, there's actually an espresso martini recipe in here. We love espresso martinis. So not only can you make good espresso drinks, you can make espresso martinis. It also has a very good Irish coffee recipe in here, or you can go online and just Google any recipe under the sun. This thing's going to be able to make it. So we just keep this guide in the cupboard right by our espresso machine. We pull it out if we need it. But like I said, we've had this thing for a few weeks now. We're so used to making it now. The process is so easy. We really don't need this other than recipes, or if we're changing from espresso to like maybe make a coffee and we forget some of the steps. Again, we just flip to the coffee page. It gives you 5 steps with pictures. Very simple, not a ton of words to read or language to go through. You just kind of follow the instructions, and it makes it as simple as can be. So let's talk about the cons. There aren't many. We absolutely love this thing. There's just a few small cons that we found with this machine. One is the excess water in the drain at the bottom. It does have a little floaty right here at the bottom. So when this floats, you'll see like an orange band around it, you know, to empty the water tray. This thing goes through water quite a bit. This thing fills up every, I don't know, I want to say 5 or 6 cups that you make. The reason for that, from my research, is any of the water that it doesn't use, it doesn't recycle and continue to use. It actually just bypasses and dumps that water right into the tray. So that's one con. Again, not a big one. It's very easy to use. You just slide this thing out. And it has a little hole in the bottom that says pour, so you can easily just pour this right into your sink. It's very easy to do. Like I said, the only problem is it fills up pretty quick. Another con, like I talked about, is just it's pretty firm to get the portafilter locked into place. Again, that's a good thing, but sometimes it does slide the machine, you know, from side to side, so you just kind of need to brace it. Not a lot, you know, you don't have to like hunker down. You just kind of put a hand on it when you're putting the portafilter in to be safe. Again, that's very minor. From what we're able to do with this thing, that doesn't bother us one bit, and you get used to it pretty quickly. The first 2 times you do it, you're like, am I doing this right? Am I going to break it? Once you get used to it, it's easy. You just pop it right over, lock it in place. No problem. And then really the last con with this thing that I talked about was it just doesn't brew a pot of coffee. For what you're getting out of this, that's not a problem for us. It brews, like I said, up to 18 ounces of coffee, so that's plenty. The only time I could see that coming into play is, like I said, when we have a group of people over and maybe we want to brew just a pot of coffee, which we actually have done recently. But this thing's so fun to make drinks, you kind of don't even want to make coffee. You kind of look at your friends or your family and say, hey, you want me to make you a latte? We've done that recently and they love it. So it's, again, not a con. It makes plenty of coffee. With everything else you're getting with this, it's fantastic. And then one other small con, I think this is just espresso machines in general, because you're using more coffee, because it's obviously compacting it, so you're getting higher coffee to water ratio. This thing burns through beans pretty quick, but again, from what you're getting out of it and saving trips to running to a coffee shop or making these at home, it's not a problem. So who is this for? Well, if you're like my wife and I, who love coffee and coffee drinks and lattes, but you don't want a degree in espresso tech, then it's perfect for you. If you want convenience first and you're a beginner, it's perfect for you. Even if you're an espresso expert, this thing is fantastic. Now, is this a pro barista tool? No, but that's not the point. This is for beginners. This is a guided experience. Or, you know, if you do get advanced, this still can handle that too. It's super versatile. It makes espresso, cold brew, coffee, froths milk, hot water. My wife's in the background right now using the hot water feature to make hot chocolate at night because it's the evening. She wants caffeine. but she would like a hot chocolate. Hot water feature, perfect. No microwave, no boiling of water. Is there a learning curve? Yeah, it's a machine. It has buttons, but it's a guided experience. It's not like a pro tool that would be a much bigger learning curve. This has the Barista Assist to assist you in that. You know, you still have to clean parts, but it's easy. You know, we've had it for a few weeks and it's just second nature. It's almost as easy as our coffee machine was. You know, we still have to dump out the old grinds, wipe a few things off, it kind of cleans itself, and you're ready to go. So this really is for anybody, in my personal opinion. You know, this even has me and my wife now going down rabbit holes. Oh, how do we make this drink? How do we make this? I mean, she's making a new drink almost every day based on recipes she finds on the internet or YouTube, or looking up Starbucks recipes and trying to replicate them. Actually, drop a comment in the comments if there's a drink you think we would like or that you want me to try to make. I can make a short video on trying to make these drinks. It could be fun. Not to mention, this thing is absolutely beautiful sitting on the countertop. It is kind of, you know, that like same vibe you get with the KitchenAid mixer, that sort of like kind of flex, if you will. It looks beautiful. We had people over for the holidays and everybody loved this thing. Again, that's not a big deal, but it's kind of cool. So let's talk price. This thing retails for $749.49, so $750, which is expensive, I know. But honestly, when we've looked at these like over the past few years, some of these things are like thousands of dollars, and that's just for the espresso machine itself. It doesn't make coffee, it doesn't do all the other stuff. So really, that's not a bad price because it's something you're going to use for years and you're going to use at home and have a lot of use out of this thing. We actually got it on sale for right around $600. So they do have sales from time to time. There also is a juniper color that's like, they call it emerald and gold. It just looks fancy. It retails for $900, but it does come with two like Ninja like travel coffee mugs that like fit perfectly with it. But for what we needed it for, we just wanted an at-home espresso machine that was easy to use. We could make lattes at home, we could make coffee at home, and is super versatile and easy to use, and this is it. Again, if you are going to get one and you want to help the channel, I do have affiliate links down below with a few accessories that I think would go perfect with this thing, like a knock box and kind of their version of like a coffee pot. So that's the Ninja Luxe Café Pro. It's versatile, it's powerful, at-home lattes, and more importantly, it's simple enough for anybody to use. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching. This is Tyler with T-Huff Tries. Out. Hot chocolate with froth milk. Oh, we're fancy now.